Good morning. So, about to go for a run, hopefully. Beautiful morning. I've been asked by a few people just about a little yoga sequence to do before a run. So, a lot of the yoga that I would teach is in the format of a class, and it would be like maybe 45 to an hour, hour and 15 long. And I wouldn't probably say to do that before, okay? So sometimes that could be a little bit too much. I would see that more as maintenance yoga for performance in your sport, if that's what you're going for. But for a little warm-up, basically I'd be kind of recommending not to go too deep into any of the poses. So you want your body to be quite warmed up, and as well, when you're going out for your session, be it a run or a bike, in this case I'm going to do it for runners, you don't actually want to have stretched too much or lengthen those muscle fibers too much. Particularly if you're going into a race situation, you do want actually a little degree of contractile muscle fibers. I would say very much so for the hamstrings. People can over lengthen into them, and then they actually lose that explosive force in their run. So this is, I'm talking more so pre-workout or pre-race. Okay, so when you're doing your maintenance work, you can get a little bit deeper, but you're not going to be going out the door running a marathon after it. Okay. Mobility is really important, particularly the hips, and a little bit of lengthening into the legs for sure, particularly the calves and Achilles, so that when you start into your run that you're not going straight into a tightened muscles and risk injury. So what I'm going to do, before I talk anymore, is just a little general gentle warm-up. So I would recommend some salutations if you can't remember anything else, a few little twists, a few little spine mobilizations, and a little bit of work into the hips. Quad stretches are good. Again, you don't need to go too deep, but just to kind of warm up into the muscles is really nice. So I'm going to start, again, short little sequence, so hopefully you'll be able to fit it in. We're going to go into a little wide-legged child's pose, so toes are together, knees are about the width of the mat apart. I'm sitting right back onto the heels to start with, and then I'm walking my hands forward. I'm going to stay on my fingertips, so I'm not totally relaxing into this. I'm pressing into my fingertips, drawing the sit bones back toward the heels, really lengthening through those shoulder blades and getting a nice little bit of length into the spine, particularly that lower back. So really important to open up into the lower back so that we can, by that way, get a little bit of stretch into our hamstrings. Relax the head, relax the neck, and just breathe here for a couple of breaths, just to start into the practice. So as I inhale, I'm thinking about lengthening the spine, pressing back into the sit bones. And as I exhale, I'm sinking the hips, sinking the chest, sinking the belly, releasing the breath. One more breath here. And then slowly tucking the chin in, walking the hands back toward the feet. I'm going to crisscross with the ankles and just come into a nice easy cross-legged seat. So I'm going to turn just so you can see me here. Sitting nice and tall in the spine. If you need to prop in a little cushion or a towel to prop the hips forward, try to engage the core here and get that long spine. I'm going to open the palms. Inhale, arms out, reaching up. And as I exhale, reaching the left arm forward, right arm behind. I'm going to place the left hand onto that right leg, drawing the heel of that right hand right close up by the spine. So it's really reminding me to sit nice and long in the spine as I inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to press that left hand into the leg, looking back over that right shoulder, really drawing that right shoulder back, getting into a lovely spinal twist. The more I look back, the more I'm going to bring that twist into the upper spine and right into the neck. But again, if the neck feels a little bit funky this morning, just relax the gaze and work into that lovely rotation into the side waist. So this is reminding our core to warm up a little bit too here, getting a little twist into the abdominals as well as the spine, a little bit of chest opener. Inhale back to centre, gently turn to the other side, small little micro bend to release that twist, and then draw back to centre. We'll reverse the crisscross. You can do this sitting back on your heels as well, you don't need to do this, but it's just a nice little bit of space into the hips while we're at it. Palms open, inhale, arms out, reaching up. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm behind, placing that right hand just above the knee, left hand right close up by the spine. You can even come up onto the fingertips if it helps you get that length in the spine, tilting those hips forward. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, looking back over that left shoulder, drawing that left shoulder back. Pressing that right hand into the leg, feeling that beautiful twist in through the body, right up through the spine. Try to draw that shoulder away from the ear. See if you can get a nice little bit of length into the right hand side of that neck. Again, use the breath. Every inhale we're lengthening, every exhale we're twisting. And then slowly inhale back to center, a little micro twist to the right, release the twist, and then slowly draw it back. So we're facing the front of our mat here. We're going to come up onto all fours to start with. I'm going to tuck my toes under, my knees are together. I'm just going to sit back up onto the heels. So you could do your twist here as well. You could do a little ooh, but it's more about just stretching into the plantar fascia here, really pressing into the balls of the feet. Getting nice and tall in the spine, drawing the chest open, tucking the chin, releasing the neck. And again, we can kind of just pulse on the toes here. I'm not a big fan of pulsing, but in this case it's okay. It's just gently pulsing into the toes to get a wee stretch into the plantar fascia, into the soles of the feet. Then I can come on to the fingertips. And again, if we don't have much plantar flexion in our feet, this can feel a little bit awkward, but it's really good just for getting a little bit of mobility into those ankles. We're going to inhale, lift the knees off the ground, pressing the fingertips into the ground, trying to keep long in the spine if we can, and just hovering the knees here for 3, for 2, and 1. And again, if you do have little mobility issues with the ankles or the lower legs, just coming from that onto the toes, onto the balls of the feet. And you could do that a few more times than what I'm going to do. A few little rotations into the ankles, also very good. So from here, I'm going to come into my tabletop, again, spine mobilization, just really warming up into the body, okay? We're going to have our hands nicely widely spread, like roots of trees. Any pressure is just in the finger pads and knuckles. Shoulders in line with elbows and wrists, elbow creases slightly forward. Knees are about hip width distance apart. We can tuck the toes under if it feels a little bit cranky in the knees, and we can place the tail in underneath the knees. And we're just finding our neutral spine here. So just see when we drop our belly, see when we rise through our back, and just get that nice neutral spot in between. And we'll just do a few little cat-cow curls here. Again, you could do a lot more. We're going to inhale, draw the chest forward, gaze up toward the ceiling, arching through the spine. Exhale, pressing into the mat, curling through the spine, gaze back toward the belly. Inhale, gaze forward and up, slight little bend to the elbows. Exhale, curling through, releasing the shoulder blades. Inhale, forward and up, arching. Exhale, curling through, release. And again, you can continue that with your own breath, maybe closing down the eyes and just feeling that lovely bit of space created within the spine. And again, you can do this for a lot longer. So again, just warming up into the body. We're not going super deep into any of these poses, any of these sequences. And then gently coming back to our tabletop. From here, we're going to tuck both toes under, and then we're going to extend back through that right foot, pressing into the ball of the foot, getting a nice little stretch in behind that right leg. Check in where those shoulders are in line with the wrists. And again, some people will tell you to pulse here. I'm not a big fan of pulsing. So what I would say is press into the ball of the foot, press the heel back, hold it here for 3 to 5 breaths, then gently release, and then go back into it again. Okay, so rather than this movement, not a fan. This is where injuries can happen. So we're just trying to get a nice little stretch, back off for a couple of breaths, and then go back in, see if we can go a little bit deeper. Same thing on the other side. So again, ball of both feet, pressing into the ball of that left toe. Head and neck are relaxed. And we're just pressing back, so ball of the foot fully engaged, pressing back into that left heel. Feeling that lovely length into the calf, a little bit into the hamstring, a little stretch into Achilles and the plantar fascia. And coming back. From here, I'm going to bend that right knee. I'm going to draw the hip in line with the spine, knee in line with the hip. Just check in, the belly tends to drop here, so I want you to tilt the pelvis, engage the core, and then you're going to have to lift that leg a little bit more. And then we're just going to open the hips to the right side. Keeping that knee nice and high in line with the hip, or maybe even a little bit higher. So we're just getting a little bit of openness into the hips here. Holding it here for 3, really drawing that leg back as far as we can go for 2 and 1. Slowly coming back to centre, same on the other side. Left leg comes up, we're bending the knee, again engaging into that core, so that pelvis nearly automatically drops, and then we're engaging that left glute to get that nice length into the mid-spine, and then slowly rotating that left hip out. So we're looking to the left, body's facing to the left, but both hands are nicely grounded to the front. Again, lifting that leg. So a little bit of glute engagement as we open up into that left hip for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release it down. Pressing both hands into the mat. Just pressing back into the balls of the feet here, and then we're going to draw those hips skyward. Coming into a little downward dog. Again, really active, so we're not holding into those legs. Hips are lifted. We're pressing the ground away. Really strong arms, really strong shoulders. Again, think about lifting those hips up and feeling that space into the lower back. Opposite heel, drawing its way down toward the ground, just feeling that lovely stretch. This is one of my favourite warm-up poses. But keep it active. Again, we're really drawing those heels down. Then coming to stillness, we're going to inhale, look forward to the front of the mat. Gently walk to the front of the mat. We're going to come into a nice forward fold here. So again, nice deep bend to the knees. We're going to release into the lower back. Feet have about a fist between them, and just allow the head and neck drape here. And relax with the back of the head, a little shake, maybe rock the hips side to side. So just releasing the lower back here, not getting too caught up with those hamstrings. And then gently tucking the chin in, we're going to slowly rise up to stand. We're going to do a little round of sun salute with a few variations. When you're ready, coming to the front, feet are grounded, hands to heart center, rolling those shoulders back, engage the core. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. A little bend to the knees here. Inhale, look forward, hands to shins, and try to maintain a nice long spine. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge. Left foot to meet it. Inhale here in plank. Checking in with that plank. Shoulders in line with wrists and elbows. Elbows are facing forward. And we're really pressing back into those heels. So use your plank to engage your quads as well as your core, and get a nice little bit of length in behind the legs. So really press back into those heels. Press the ground away. Exhale, knees to the mat. Chest to the mat and chin. Keeping the elbows tucked in. Rolling the heart forward, untucking the toes. Pressing the feet into the ground, lifting the heart forward. Exhale, tucking the toes. Downward dog, walking it out. Getting that lovely stretch, that lovely movement into the hips. Maybe even rocking the hips side to side, looking out underneath opposite armpits, getting a little release into the side waist. We're going to inhale that right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge, and as many movements as you need. Left foot to meet it. Exhale, fold, bend the knees. Inhale, rise up. Second side, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, right foot to meet it. Inhale here, holding it here in our plank. Don't forget to exhale. Really pressing the ground away, keeping that core nice and strong. If the hips are dropping or the bum's in the air, I want you to find that neutral spot in between for 3, for 2, and 1. Exhale, knees to the mat, chest to the mat and chin. Rolling the heart forward, untucking the toes, pressing the feet into the mat, lifting the chest forward. Exhale, tucking the toes, downward dog, walking it out. And again, you could do multiple rounds of your sun salutations, depending on how you are for time. So I'm just going to do a short sequence this morning. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge. Right foot to meet it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up through center, hands extended up. Exhale, hands to heart. So our second little sequence based on that, we're going to bring a little bit more hip mobility and hamstring into it, okay? And again, be kind to your hamstrings. We just want to feel that stretch into the belly of the muscle. So we're not looking at stretching into the tendons, so near the knee or up near the sit bones. We don't want to go there. We never want to go there, but particularly pre-workout. Hands to heart, relax the breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping right foot back to lunge, dropping right knee down gently. High in the fingertips, engage the core. Inhale, arms up in line with the ears, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, cactus arms. Core engagement. We're not going into a back bend. Tilt those pelvises forward. Engage the core. Nice space into the chest. As we inhale, we're going to lengthen forward, bringing the fingertips to the ground, lengthening through that left leg, drawing those left toes toward the face, and we're sitting back in the direction of the heel. We're pressing the chest forward. The more you press the chest forward, keep the length in the spine, draw the toe back, the more you're going to feel it into the hamstring. But again, just into the belly of the muscle. Bring it into the lower leg, drawing that toe toward the face. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cactus arm lunge. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, lunge. With control, a little bit of depth into those hips. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, lunge. 2 more. Last one. Both hands come to the mat. We're going to keep that right hand where it's at. We're going to extend that left arm up toward the ceiling. We can stay here or we can come on to the ball of that right foot, pressing back through the heel, holding it here. Really drawing that left shoulder back. Gaze goes up for 3, for 2, and 1. Left hand comes to meet right. Stepping left foot back to meet right. Inhale and plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the mat or chaturanga. Rolling forward, baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, walking it out. Inhale, right leg up, looking forward, stepping right foot into lunge. Left foot to meet it, exhale, fold. Inhale, rolling up to your center, hands extended up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, fold. Stepping left foot back to lunge, dropping left knee down. Inhale, both arms up in line with the ears. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Engage the core. Hips are facing forward. Chest is open to the front. A nice space into the chest. Exhale, cactus arms. Again, engage the core. And as you engage the core, you're going to feel an extra little stretch into the front of the left hip. Inhale, lengthen forward, extend through that front leg or that right leg, drawing the toes toward the face. High in the fingertips, keeping the spine long, pressing the chest forward. And again, that stretches just into the belly. We're not over lengthening the hamstrings here. We want to keep that explosive power. Inhale here, exhale, cactus arm lunge. Nice depth into the hips. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, lunge, nice open heart. Inhale, lengthen, with control. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lunge. Last one, forward. Exhale, lunge. Lovely. From here, both hands come to the front. Left hand remains grounded. We're going to inhale that right arm up toward the ceiling. Extend through the fingertips, maybe coming onto the ball of that left foot. Really drawing the heart open, looking up toward the ceiling if it feels okay in the neck. Drawing that right shoulder back, pressing back into that left heel for 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly release back to the front of the mat. Stepping right foot back to meet left. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga to the mat. Rolling the chest forward, untucking the toes. Baby cobra or upward dog. Tucking the toes. Downward dog, walking it out. Nearly there. there. And again, you could repeat that a couple of times. It's all time dependent. Like if you want to warm up, get a little bit more mobility, really we just need 15 minutes is plenty. If you have time to do a little bit more, if you're particularly stiff, do a little bit more. Listen to your own body. We're going to inhale that left leg up, looking forward, stepping left foot into lunge. We're going to walk that left foot over to the right, and then we're going to step the right foot behind the left, coming into a little cross leg. Nice deep bend to the knees here, and we're just going to gently fold forward. So we should feel a little release into that right glute, a little bit of space into the lower back. We're not so much working into the hamstrings here. Again, if we were, you could lengthen out through the backs of the legs a little bit more. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, nice and slowly, hands together overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. We're going to reverse that crisscross. Right foot's in front, left foot's behind. Nice and engaged. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, fold forward, bend the knees. Just a gentle bend so we're not locking out. Ooh, lovely. Feeling that into the left glute. A little bit into the ITB. You are accessing the hamstrings, but we're not over lengthening. So we're keeping that bend. Relax the head and neck. Relax the chest. Spaces from the lower back, and then we're getting into the legs. Lengthening on the inhale, folding on the exhale. I sound like I was going into a chant there. Really releasing on that fold, and then tucking the chin in, slowly, 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 with control, rising back up to stand, hands together overhead. Exhale, hands to heart, uncrossing the legs. Last little one, I was going to do it standing, but I love a quad stretch in the ground. So we're going to come onto our side, coming all the way down onto our elbows. A nice lengthen on the body. We're going to bend that bottom leg, nice right angles, hip to knee to heel, heel to toe. We're going to bring that right knee to rest, and then we're going to grab onto that right foot, nice and gently, and then we're going to draw that knee until it's in line with the hip. And then what you might notice here is we're getting a little bit of an arch into the back. So I want you to tuck the pelvis forward, engage the core, and you'll notice that right knee will come forward a little bit more. So draw that right knee back again so it's in line with the hip. And then we're pressing the foot into the hand. Don't forget to breathe. So that core engagement makes such a difference in our quad stretch, so that we're actually getting deep into the muscle, not too deep. And again, you're only feeling this into the belly of the muscle, so no pull near the knee, no pull right up near the insertion at the hip. So just right into the belly, into the front of the muscle. And you can hold us here for 5 breaths. But again, depending on where you're at and where your time's at. Once you start to feel the stretch disappearing, back off. You're just wasting time. Inhale back to center. And then we're just going to hug that right knee into the chest, little counter pose, and then extend it back. We're going to do the same on the other side. You can just roll right over onto the elbow. Legs in line to start with, core engaged. Bending that bottom leg. Bringing the top leg to rest on it. Grabbing hold of that left foot, keeping the knee so that it's still in line with the hip, so we're not drawing it right up here. And then we get that far, see where that core is at, engage the core, pelvis starts to tuck forward, and then draw that knee back in line with the hip again. And then at that stage, we're pressing the foot into the hand. And we get 5 breaths here. It's plenty. You get to a point in a stretch where you're not really feeling the stretch anymore. And again, we're not looking to over lengthen. Our quads do get quite tight. And so it's nice just to release them here. And as well, because we're not going to go too deep into the hamstrings, if we can release into the quads, that'll take a little bit of pressure off the hamstrings without us having to lengthen them anymore. as well as core engagement, as well as tilting the hips forward. So there are other ways of getting into our hamstrings without over lengthening. So it's funny, you don't actually have to stretch the muscle that you feel is tight if you're working on all the muscles that work with it, or the ones that work against it. Slowly release back to centre, again hugging that knee in. Nice little squeeze, and then release. And again, you can come on onto your back. Again, we want to be a little bit fired up here, so we're not going to hang out here for too long. Hugging the knees into the chest, crisscrossing at the ankles. You can take a few rolls forward and back, eventually coming up to seat, engaging the core, and hopefully being ready to get into your run session. So, as I say, keep it dynamic. Don't go too deep into any of the poses. None of your deep hip openers, deep hamstring stretches. Just getting a little bit of space into the chest and the body overall, and hopefully feel a little bit, I don't say looser, because we have been working a little bit of engagement there, so more in control. So try to keep your form, keep that core control. So I'm not saying lock into your core for that whole time that you're running, but keep coming back to your core. So if you find to lose your core, your bum's going to pop out, your hips are going to start to roll. So even with that, just little tuck the pelvis forward, feel that engagement, relax the upper body, and enjoy your run. So thank you.